Nobody knocks on your door and says, hey, you know what? Did you know your husband's got a benefit? You can start taking it now, you know? So, you know, there were some modifications, and I'm not going to spend any time on it because, you know, I do this for CPAs and attorneys, and this is something I do cover for them. Is they did away with some file and suspend applications. There were some unique strategies, and I can tell you less than 5% of the population ever took advantage of these. But when I used to do it for you folks, I had people come up to me and say, what do you mean? I can file and not take the income, and my spouse can collect half my benefit, and then I can still run mine up to age 70, and then people go, is that legal? That's legal. I say, yeah. So that's all I'm going to say about that slide. So just, we're going to come back to widow benefits here for a second. I'm going to keep it a little simple and go to the end result. Here's benefits. You can start collecting your widow benefit, then convert it, and then go back to a widow benefit, or you can do it in reverse. You can start collecting your widow benefit, then at full retirement age, click over to your benefit, you know, and then run it for the next. Let's just take this example. Let's say we got a widow benefit. How much of a reduction do you get based on your spouse's benefit? 28.5%, right? So in this case, it works out to be $1,700. That's option number one. Take that the rest of your life because you want the income early. A lot of people don't realize that you can actually bounce around. So in this example, she takes her benefit at 62. She doesn't take the widow benefit because she wants to take the widow benefit later. So she switches over to the survivor benefit at the age of 66. And at the age of 66, basically, her benefit's now $2,400. She can take that the rest of her life. Option number 3 here, she can take her survivor benefit immediately and then let her benefit run to the age of 70. What's the benefit to that? She gets a higher payout, the 8%, you know, all that fun stuff that kicks in. So at that point, she switches over to her benefit, and if it was $2,000, now it's $2,640. It's $2,640 that's going to have cost of living increases to it and everything else. She was able to rely on this income for the next several years, so she could get a bigger benefit on hers at a later point. It's kind of nice to be able to do that, right? Do you think anybody tells you how to do this? No. They don't. You know, and you know, honestly, you'll probably forget tomorrow, but that's why we've got a book to help you. And then if you just kind of look at all 3 of those scenarios, the first one, just taking the survivor benefit, and then basically survivor benefit in conjunction with her benefit, and then basically, if you kind of did it the last, where you got the survivor benefit at the age of 60, then switching over at 70, you get those 8% increases. That's a big difference.
It is a big difference.
Nobody tells you this. You know, and I kind of start with where we started. You know, this is one source of retirement income, but you know, just like look at this example. This is just one example. You know, the husband and wife, we talked about that. Him delaying, waiting till 70. There's a lot of money that potentially is left on the table. You know, and at the end of the day, nobody's going to tell you the right way to do it or the wrong way. It's a decision you need to make. I think the first thing you would do, if I would encourage all of you, is just kind of figure out your mortality.
Right.
First, I mean, just, you know, take a guess. And then, if you get a question out, look at your spouse. See what their mortality is like, right? And if you both don't look so good, maybe take it early, right? If you don't like each other and you think you might kill each other, take it early. Those are the options, but let me just kind of close here for a little bit. I'm going to open up for a couple questions. Don't kind of confuse me too much. It's late in the day. Take a look at your Social Security statements. Make sure they're accurate. You know, where I see the biggest failure to properly record is years that you made one of the 2 jobs. So that's kind of a pivot point I look at, and just make sure you know what, it's going to be a generation to be perfect. It might be 40. I think Social Security for me might be full retirement age at 70, and they'll still have that component. Take it early. Why? Because people that take it early, what happens for the government? I mean, on that side of it. they have less they gotta pay out based on the assumptions, right? So, just being some of those strategies like we talked about, like being able to go on a widow basis to go back and forth. You know, and it's always best to go down to the Social Security office when it comes time, but go down there. But you got to know what you're asking for. So, and then I had already start sources of income. So, you know, your spouse, you need to replace that $1,000 per month. It's kind of nice to have some life insurance to fall back, isn't it? You know, so all these things come into play. So Homer Simpson said it best: retirement income is not easy, right? So, nope. You know, and there are products out there, and I'm just here as, you know, just to educate you here, and then, you know, product that's supplemental. I don't want to say, but there are some other floors you could put in there for guaranteed income as a retirement source. You know, so and again, what was the number one risk I think you guys have as it pertains to retirement? How long you're going to live, right? You know, so with that. Open it up for a question or two, or what do you think?
Yeah, just a couple of things. We want to keep our questions from our guests. If you're an associate and you have some burning question, you can ask George after. But if you are a guest here tonight, we want you to ask your questions. We're also going to have a Social Security brochure that's going to kind of highlight a lot of the things that George. Linda over here on the right has those brochures. She'll be looking for your red name tag because she wants to make sure you're one of our guests. And if you're a guest, let her know. But if you have some questions, we're not quite done. For George, a lot of times we have like an individual, really specific question about ourselves. You know, that may not always be appropriate depending on what the scenario is. But I think it's been very informative. But any questions about Social Security? And if you don't mind, sir, if you could stand up and ask it so we could all hear it. Is there? Oh, I thought someone had their hand. Who has a question? Any questions? Did you do such a good job that you have no questions?
I think we did.
Yes.
Okay.
Could you just stand up because it's hard to hear you in the back?
Oh, I have a question about the survival. My husband passed.
Yep.
Okay. I'm not 60. I'll be 60. I didn't know I could get his Social Security benefit possibly, right? If he had worked over 35 years or if he worked at all.
So survivor benefit, 10 years?
Yes. No,
Married 10 years?
over 26. But the thing is, he had to have worked 35 years, right? Before I could get it.
No. So to qualify for benefit, you have to work for 10 years. So he worked over 10 years.
Yeah.
You said 26. Is that what you said?
I'm married 26.
So how many years did he work?
Well, he worked over 10 years.
Okay, overtime. Okay.
So he worked over 10 years. He qualifies, right?
Okay.
And then basically you were married for more than 10 years.
So I did not get remarried.
No, but you've been married to him
Oh,
for
yeah,
10 years.
26, yeah.
More, 26.
Mm-hmm.
So you qualify.
So I did not go down to get those, so I could just go Social Security and draw his Social Security.
So at the age of 60,
At the age of 60, I have to do that.
at the age of 60, you're eligible.
Oh, that.
You become eligible to start taking survivor benefits
Okay.
at the age of 60. Now, you'll get a reduction based on what his full retirement benefit is. So here's the thing. How many years, how much you contribute to the system, they're going to come up with a number.
Okay.
And whatever that number is, then if you take it at 60 or 61, whatever the case may be, there's going to be a reduction. Now, you can still work, but you're subjected to the earnings test. So you could be reducing some of your benefit naturally because if you continue to work. So you want to coordinate if I'm going to continue to work and if I want to take this benefit, what the thresholds are and things like that.
So I will get a cut. I will have to pay more back on taxes taking his Social Security.
We'll take taxes out of the equation here for a second, but you'll be able to collect a benefit at the age of 60. Now, whether you're still working or not, that's where you want to coordinate as to how, if you take it at that point, how much you're making, and then at that point, yeah.
The impact that's going to have. You're going to have to make that evaluation as you get closer to see the impact that that'll have. Because if you're working,
No, I'm
it'll
not working.
reduce your benefit.
I'm not working.
Okay, so then that'll be factored in. But it's really more of a question as you got to talk to social. You can do that.
60 is the soonest. Don't get remarried, okay? I don't want to be doing this presentation a year from now, and then you said, oops, I got married.
Right.
Okay?
We have time for one final question. One final question. This,
Yes.
guys, hold on one.
Where does disability come into the practice?
Disability, you're going to want to go to an attorney, because you can qualify for disability.
I'm saying if one is on.
One's already on disability, you're already collecting. So this is where, this is individual circumstances.
Okay.
Yeah.
But typically, it does switch to your whatever your benefit is at the age, or does that change?
It's not your benefit that they're evaluating, now it's basically, you really haven't been in the system. I mean, this is another component to Social Security to help
Case by case.
for disability, kids that maybe, that, I mean, there's little facets to this thing. But for this presentation, it's about what your entitlement is, the disability component. I have a sister-in-law, she's disabled, she's 38 years old. She hasn't paid anything into the system for real. I mean, so she's entitled to something.
Is that helpful? Okay, so I have a few announcements. Can we give
Please.
George a big hand?
George.
Great job. As I mentioned, I've been doing this for quite some time, and there was a lot I learned tonight that I didn't know, and it was exciting. And I want all of you to know that we're going to be doing a few things here coming up. I just want to make you aware of that are coming up. All right, so starting with the new income tax law change. Okay, how that applies. We're going to have a here, a couple other financial. That is going to be to somebody you know somebody that needs to hear this. How many of you know somebody that needs to hear this information? You heard it, and you have somebody else. We are doing on February 27th. That's a Tuesday. Okay, so it'll be exactly what you saw tonight. So if you saw it tonight, you're not going to learn anything. But maybe you have a spouse who's not here. Maybe your mom and dad need to cross the street. We have, what was this young lady's name? Arlene here, who maybe she discovered she has a benefit that she didn't know about. So there's all kinds of scenarios out there. There's a lot to know about this, and it's kind of been hidden away. Even I think of myself, the amount that I learned, I can't imagine, if somebody hadn't known anything about this, how much you learned tonight. So exact same format, same location, everything will be the same. You're stuck with George. We're going to be doing our income tax law today, and you want to take home one of these brochures, okay, and go see Linda. And then there's also some information here about some things that Prudential have to offer. I can only tell you my mother-in-law, I put her in Prudential over 10 years ago. And, what we used her for was she just wanted to have an extra income for herself. So she has her Social Security. We have my father-in-law's pension. She had another lump sum of money. And she goes, how long is it going to last? I said, what if I could give you a predictable amount of money forever on that amount, and it's going to grow at and so she's been very happy. And I know I did it even for my uncle and a few other people. So again, Prudential has some great solutions. If you're curious, we could definitely talk to you about it. But take one of these brochures. And most importantly, if you tonight is you probably want to know something. You're here because there's something you're thinking about, and that's why the person who invited you down, they're the perfect resource for you. Go back to them and say, okay, I like this, but how does this apply? Like, what do I need to be doing? Well, they can tell you exactly, how this applies. We can get on the phone with some experts if there's a more complicated question handle right here at our office at our financial center. We have workshops that we do here. We have all kinds of resources that are available. Just get back with the person who invited you. And those of you who are associates and members, thank you for all being here tonight. Go share this with others. And I want to thank all of you for your time this evening. Have a good night.
I work but I'm going to keep it visible in case someone says, oh wait, I didn't get one of the insurance. I want to do it right. And we don't need everything digital, because sometimes you can't wait for something to power up.
You ready?
This couple had 2 copies, so that's okay. I'm willing to give it up.
You need a full shirt. You see Linda. Where's Linda?
Where'd Linda go?
No. That's what I was going to see.